What does that have to do with the major questions doctrine?
I mean, Senator Lee certainly explored some overlap between the two. I had not actually considered personally the overlap between the two, but I think I can see some relationship. The major questions doctrine is a little bit different. It is a approach the Supreme Court and some other courts have applied in analyzing statutes, essentially reaching the conclusion that Congress would not give broad rulemaking authority to an agency.
A heated Senate hearing just took an unexpected turn. Senator John Kennedy put a judicial nominee on the spot with tough constitutional questions about the Non-Delegation Doctrine, the Major Questions Doctrine, and one explosive issue: why isn't gender considered a fully suspect classification under the Constitution? The nominee struggled to answer, and the exchange left the entire room on edge. Was this a fair test of legal knowledge, or did the senator expose a serious gap in judicial understanding? Watch this intense moment and decide for yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, gentlemen. Judge Byrne, you were here when Senator Lee talked about the non-delegation doctrine.
I was.
Yeah, I got a little confused. What is the non-delegation doctrine?
The non-delegation doctrine refers to the idea that Congress may not give or delegate its lawmaking authority to an...
I'm sorry.
It's okay. The idea that Congress may not give or delegate its lawmaking authority to a regulatory body, that the legislative
power...
Can't
give it to anybody, can
it? Sure, anyone.
Can't give it to another branch of government, right?
Correct.
Okay. What does that have to do with the major questions doctrine?
I mean, Senator Lee certainly explored some overlap between the two. I had not actually considered personally the overlap between the two, but I think I can see some relationship. The major questions doctrine is a little bit different. It is a approach the Supreme Court and some other courts have applied in analyzing statutes, essentially reaching the conclusion that Congress would not give broad rulemaking authority to an agency just based on a few words or a short ambiguous phrase. The idea is that if Congress is granting agency rulemaking authority, it would be clear in doing so. And to the extent that a statute isn't clear in that respect, the courts can sometimes potentially find that the major questions doctrine was violated.
So it's sort of the major questions doctrine is kind of a subset of the non-delegation doctrine. Would that be fair?
I think, yes, that would.
And basically the major questions doctrine just says, look, Congress can give a regulatory agency, the executive branch, power over a major question of social significance. But if Congress is going to do it, they've got to be clear. They've got to say it big as Dallas. They can't just imply it, right?
That's correct, Senator.
Okay. All right, we cleared that up. Tell me what a suspect classification is and how you get to be one. Suppose I want to be a suspect classification. What do I have to do?
Well, suspect classification wouldn't necessarily refer to a person, but rather to the idea that in different contexts it would be inappropriate to treat people differently based on a suspect's character.
But what to get to be a suspect classification or part of one? I agree with you. It's not just a person. What requirements do you have to meet?
Senator, I'm not sure exactly what requirements you're referring to, but there would be different examples, such as treating someone different based on race or sex.
I know. Race and lineage, ethnic origin. But, I mean, did the Supreme Court just pick those out of the air?
Well, certainly there are statutes that protect those.
No, they didn't do it on statute.
Well, the Constitution prohibits the government from treating people differently
Yeah, but
based
the
on.
Constitution doesn't say these are the people. The Constitution doesn't define suspect classification. Supreme Court did that, right?
I think that's correct.
Okay. And if I'm for the court arguing that a particular group is a suspect classification, what are the definitions? What are the characteristics I'm going to use to define? One's a history of discrimination, right?
Yes.
Gotta show
A
that.
history of discrimination. I think immutable characteristics.
Mutable characteristic, bingo, that's right.
Right.
An absence of political power, right?
I believe the court has discussed that, yes.
Yeah. And that immutable characteristic, which doesn't affect my ability or the suspect classification's ability to contribute to society, right?
That's correct.
Right. And what are the suspect classifications?
What are they?
Yeah.
Senator, I'm not sure if I could provide a list.
There are only two. Race,
Race and
ethnic
sex, ethnic origin, okay.
How come sex isn't a fully suspect classification? I mean, you got women have a history of discrimination. It's an immutable characteristic unless you go get a sex change operation. Traditionally, they've been politically disadvantaged, and being a woman has nothing to do with your merit or your ability to contribute to society. So how come gender isn't a suspect classification?
Senator, I'm sorry, but I don't remember the specific case, if there was one, when the court would discuss that issue or analyze
Do you think
it.
they ought to be?
Certainly,
Is that a
women.
gavel I hear? Is that like a slight tapping I hear? Go ahead. Can he finish answering?
You give an answer, and then we want to quickly go to Blumenthal.
Thank you, Chair. Certainly, women should be protected from discrimination. It's important to have laws of that nature. As to whether they should be deemed to be a suspect classification in the specific context you're talking about, if that has not already been decided by the court, it would be inappropriate for me to give, I guess, an advisory opinion on that issue. But women certainly should not be subject to discrimination or different treatment by the government.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Ligris. I'm not ignoring you. I just ran out of time.
That was one of the most uncomfortable moments of the hearing. Senator Kennedy's rapid-fire questions sparked a bigger debate about constitutional law, discrimination protections, and what Americans should expect from federal judges. Did the nominee handle the pressure well, or should judicial candidates be better prepared for questions like these? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more political debates and explosive Senate hearings.